Well, welcome to Pop Palace.
Thank
My
you.
name is Jack, and at Pop Palace, we celebrate iconic women and queer people in pop music and in the pop culture space. So we're so excited to have you. We
I'm
like
so
to,
excited to be here.
yay! We do like to have our guests introduce themselves and tell us one of your earliest memories in music.
Okay, you got it. Well, my name is Alexandra, and one of my earliest memories of music, I have a vivid memory actually of it's actually on video, so it doesn't actually only exist in my memories because my parents are like fully prepared to roast me at any given moment. Um, but there is a video of me on family vacation at the lake with my family, and I'm in the living room dancing on a chair to No Scrubs by TLC.
Period.
And yeah, I mean, I was really giving like a full blown performance to every single member of my family against their will. But I don't know, iconic pop music like that is like so ingrained in my earliest memories. So I
Yeah,
think that would be one.
I love that. That's so iconic.
Thank you so much.
That's so fun. If you could describe your music in 3 words, what would you pick?
Oh, I would say um, I like to think it's authentic. Um, I'm going to hyphenate genre bending
Period.
as my second word.
Yep.
And third, I think it's digestible.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I love
thank
it.
you.
S-
Yeah.
So at Pop Palace, we focus on the intersections of gender and music. How do you think
Mm.
being a woman has influenced your space in music?
Man, I mean, let's roll out the scroll.
Right?
It's like I have like a million things to say. I think being a woman in a male dominated field, specifically when it comes to production,
Hmm.
really informs a lot of my songwriting. I think I got my degree in audio production, and in my program, there was two women, period,
Yeah.
um, in the entirety of like the music production track that I was on. And I think there's like this like innate sense of tenacity that all women kind of grow into as they get older, and as you find yourself in more spaces where you are the minority, um, you find yourself really feeling like you need to step up in different ways. And um, I think when it comes to actually the act of creating music, I think there is a tenacity, like I said, in my spirit to really step into my power and really, really try to be someone of discernment when it comes to making decisions and making calls without fear, which is something that I think a lot of women have trouble with, just generally speaking. We like so often find ourselves without a seat at the table. And so having this like production degree in my back pocket equipped me with, I think, skills that give me a seat at the table. So I'm really proud of that, but I think it definitely informs a lot of like my creative process. Is just like trying to be courageous and trying to be, like I said, to move with discernment. But I think also women are naturally quite nurturing, and I think that applies to feeling as well. And so when it comes to writing, I think I'm trying to like really nurture and pay attention to and listen to all of the feelings that I'm having and to write without judgment of myself, which I think is just so challenging to do as a person, but specifically as a woman. Um, and I don't know, I think being a woman influences so much of my music because I'm writing from the female gaze.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, creating and crafting from the female perspective. And it's valuable. I'm glad that it seems like now people are lifting women up a little bit more than they did when I was in college. So, yeah,
Definitely. I'm going to
yeah.
music school right now, and
Shut up. That's
yeah, I'm
great.
studying music business, but
Very
literally the
cool.
same exact thing. I remember
Yeah.
the reason I started the podcast was because we had a discussion in class about Madonna and just like the straight misogyny just because she was a woman
Yeah.
blew my I mean like I already knew it was there, but being like fully embraced in the music and then seeing all these men be like was blah blah blah, she sucks, she's old, all this stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah. That's crazy. Also,
yeah,
talking about Madonna in such a
of
manner,
all
jail,
people, literally.
federal prison for
Oh
that.
my, literal mortal
Jail.
enemies. Yes.
Yeah, for real.
I was like, y'all don't talk about my queen like that. But
Straight up.
I think women, especially in music, do it better. Like
Period.
with if it's either like I work music festivals sometimes, and I work on
Yeah,
like
I
a
do too.
all female team, and it's significantly better than any time I've worked for a man in the music industry. They make the best
Period.
music, like
Yes, and
top
it's
tier.
like no shade to men, truly, no shade, but it's like the women or the men that at least allow the women in their lives to provide feedback when men are giving women spaces to feel heard and valuable and seen. They don't realize that their ideas are just going to get that much better
Yeah,
because you're coming at it now with a whole other perspective. So it's like if the goal is to reach as many people as possible, wouldn't it be beneficial to include as many people as possible in the creative process, or at least
exactly.
as many perspectives as possible? Like 2 plus 2 equals 4 on that one
No,
in my mind, but
literally.
maybe not to others, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But
Some people don't get it.
yeah, no, some people do not.
So, what has been one of the most surprising moments in your music career so far?
Hmm. Surprising moments. I think there was a moment I opened for Abraham Alexander at the Kessler in, I'm trying to even think. I think it was June of 23. Yeah, it was June of 23. And that was by far the biggest and best show of my life up to that point. And I think it wasn't necessarily surprising to me that I booked that show or that I was given, gratefully given the opportunity to do that. It was more so I was surprised at how receptive and supportive all of those new listeners were. I hadn't had an experience like that yet where so many people that I did not know had taken such a genuine interest in the music that I was playing. It was incredibly validating and surprising. I think we kind of, musicians, we generally kind of go into experiences, expecting the worst and like hoping for the best. But when you're in an environment like the Kessler, where it was like such a listening room energy and everybody was there for music and everybody there was so supportive, I was so genuinely shocked at how receptive people were, especially when you've spent so much time playing in, places where people do not care about you
Hmm.
and there's like 10 people there and the half of them are on their phones and the other half are drunk. It's like it was so shockingly refreshing to be in that environment.
That's awesome. Do
Thank
you
you.
ever get nervous before you perform live?
Oh, hell yeah. I don't know if I can swear.
Oh, you can
Oh,
swear.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Oh, hell yeah. All the time. I think I, especially if I haven't like played a show in a while, I think I had my voice teacher used to tell me, what you don't use, you lose. And I think that that is true with really any skill. And so sometimes when I have to like dust the cobwebs off after a month or two of not playing a show or whatever, that makes me nervous. Um, and even if I am kind of like really really exercising the muscle and like playing a ton of shows, I still get nervous before each one because I know that there's going to be people in the audience that have never heard this music before, have never seen me before, and I really believe that first impressions are so important. So I still get nervous. I think if you get nervous, you give a shit,
Yeah.
and I think that that's, I never want to like get complacent to the point where I don't get nervous.
Yeah, definitely. I feel
Yeah,
that too. Like, even when I do interviews, I get a little nervous before, even if it's not something crazy, but I'm
sure,
excited. I'm like ready to talk to someone
absolutely.
new.
Yeah, and then you're great at it. You're
Oh,
great at it.
thank you. I really appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Yes, of course.
And like pouring yourself out like that is it takes so much energy, and like
Yeah,
it's a big deal. So how do you recover from that, and like how do you really make sure that you are reserving your energy when you're not performing or like writing
yeah.
music or anything like that?
That's such a good question. Um, to be honest, I get re-energized after a show. I think I've like talked about this before, but I'm like a very private person
Hmm.
in my personal life. Truly, like I like to think that I'm incredibly warm and generous with my time, but I'm like very protective over like the depths of my soul.
Yeah.
I think when you're, especially when I was younger, I was like a was like a word vomiter. I was an oversharer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was just trying to feel like seen and to like break bread with people. And then you get older and you start to become a little more protective over that stuff. And um, so I feel like in my music, performing is kind of like my one little, peek behind the curtain. It's my like one time to really, really be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels not like I'm like word vomiting or trauma dumping, but I'm
Yeah.
rather, it's art. It's art. It's creative and it's sacred. And I think I feel energized after a show. I feel like I've done something good and I've done something that I'm proud of. And so I really just try to fill it with lots of quality time with, the people that I shared that space with, and lots of words of affirmation is my love language. So I'm like, tell me, what did you enjoy? What did you like? Like, what can I do better?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really want to like debrief about it. And I think in the debrief and in the quality time, I find myself being re energized and recharged. And I just try to like really not nitpick performances. I really believe that like once it's done, it's done. And I think that decision has brought me a lot of peace after the fact. After you kind of share so deeply, it'd be so easy to like go back and like nitpick.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I try to not do that, and that is a way that I try to protect my peace.
Yeah. And I think it really shows your authenticity that performing like
Thank you.
isn't super tiring. It gives you like that inspiration, gives you that energy.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Thank
Because
you.
it means
Yeah.
like everything's like fully aligned. Like you're true to yourself and like not your
Yeah.
artist self and your like personal self too.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to think so. It's hard though. It's
Yeah,
hard.
for sure.
Yeah.
So if you had an unlimited budget to start any music project, what would you
Ooh.
start? I know that's really broad, but like
Oh, yes.
you could
Let's
like throw
talk
your own
about
music
it.
festival, you could like anything.
Yeah. I think, oh man, I would, if I can divvy it up, if I can
Yeah.
truly divvy it up a little bit, I just finished recording an EP that is set to come out in the spring. And I'm so very
Yay.
excited about that. Yay. But it's like people don't realize genuinely how expensive it is to be an independent musician.
Mhm.
And, you have people lovingly kind of on your ass about it. They're like, when are you putting music out? When's the next song? And you're like, are you going to pay for it?
Right.
Because somebody's got to pay for it.
Literally.
And so you're like, well, you got to give me time. I got to play more shows to save this money. And it's expensive. And
Mhm.
I think I would record a full length album and I would do like music videos for all of the singles because music videos are so iconic,
It'd be so
but
fun too.
so expensive.
Mhm.
But I would record music videos. I would like record the album in the way that I see it in my mind with no limitations. So strings and horns and full blown instrumentalists and unlimited studio time where you don't have a cutoff date that you're
Mhm.
kind of working around. I would do that. And then I would love to do some sort of nonprofit work in Dallas or in DFW, really, with all of the incredible local talent that I see all the time that a lot of places don't stupidly don't platform because
Mhm.
they don't have streaming numbers or
Yeah,
any of that BS. And
definitely.
I know how difficult that is. I still experience it all the time. And there's so much good talent that deserves a stage, but I would love to throw something huge party in DFW with lots
Mhm.
and lots of live music, and somehow some portion of it could go to a really really worthy cause. Um, and there's a lot of really great nonprofits that I would love to work with, and I think if I had the money to throw something so rad and so cool, we could
Yeah.
raise a ton of money, and I think that would just feel really really good.
That'd be so fun. And I would definitely
Right?
come, especially
You
DFW.
should.
Like that's
Come
such
on
a
now.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
love
fun.
it.
So
So, can
yeah.
we get like any like sneak peek or info on the new EP coming up?
Yes, yes. Oh, I'm so excited. I still need to name it, which is horrible. I was literally thinking about it last night. It's like, before you go to bed, there's like things that you just cycle through
Mhm.
like every single night.
Yep.
Um, that is one of them. I'm like narrowed down the title, but I think really cool about the CP is that we recorded it all in my living room. So this is my house, and
Oh, cute.
through those doors, there's my living room, and I have these really tall, beautiful ceilings. And I invited my producers, who are a married couple, um, in Nashville. They have family in Austin, so they were coming up into Texas, during Thanksgiving anyways. And so they were like, well, we'll just come to Dallas and then we'll go to Austin. And we camped out here for like 2 days.
That's so fun.
Bas- yeah. And, we brought my drummer in and we put her in the living room, and my bass player, who also ended up playing violin on the tracks. And I got a piano, which I had wanted for my house, but I work very well with a deadline.
Hmm.
Like if I have a deadline, I'm going to get it done. I
Yeah.
might wait until the last second, but I'm going to get it done. And last second, I got a piano delivered to my house.
Period.
Yeah. And so we moved the piano in, and then my producers came, I think, literally like an hour later. And we got the piano tuned, and then the producers came. And it was like 2, 3 days of just playing. It felt like it just felt like I was a little kid again, just like creating. And it was really, really special. It was a really special experience. And I think you can hear it in the tracks. So there'll be 3 tracks, 3 new songs, plus we're going to put Funny, which is the most recent single that I put out, on there, and then a live track.
Ooh.
That's just a one take, no reels, no frills, just a one take piano voice track of a song that's really, really special to me. Mistakes and all. I don't even want to touch it. I
I'm
want to
so
like,
excited.
thank you.
I love
I'm
that stuff.
so excited to put out a full body of work. It has been such a long journey. I think I put out my first song in 2021. And so it's been, 4 years
Yeah.
of really just writing and playing and creating and trying to figure this thing out. So
That's awesome. I'm literally so
thanks.
excited. I'll post
I'm
all
so
about it when
excited.
it comes out.
Please,
Yes, I'll
yes.
let everybody know.
It takes a village. It really
Yes, for
does.
sure. I did a little bit of stalking on your Instagram and
Please
saw
stock.
that you work music festivals too.
Yeah, I do. I got so lucky to like stumble into this little gig. My best friend Bailey is like a PR like badass boss, and she has worked with C3 before, who puts on these big
Yeah.
festivals. And so basically, I'm just like a hired gun. I'm just freelance coming on board for, I do like 4 to 6 festivals a year. And
OMG.
I'm working in the photo pits actually. So escorting photographers in,
Wait, I
escorting them
might
out.
see you then. Cuz I
Oh
work
yeah,
I work premium with C3. So I do like VI
shut
I
up.
like make sure the VIP people stay in the VIP.
Oh my God,
Like I
then
literally will see you.
we definitely cross paths. What am
OMG.
I doing this year? I'm doing Railbird in Kentucky,
OMG.
Farewell Festival in Oregon, Boardwalk Rocks in
Okay.
Ocean City, and then I'm doing Lala and ACL, I
Okay.
think are
I'm
my
usually,
5.
if I'm not working, I'll be at ACL. Either way, I'm there every year, both weekends.
Okay, then we'll definitely see each
Yeah.
other. We will breathe the same air
I'm
for
so
sure.
excited. Wait, yeah, we have to meet up.
Yeah,
It'll be so fun.
it's it's so inspiring. Like I was like, Bailey, how did you get me wrangled into this thing in this department? I don't give a shit about PR. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
anything about PR. And she was like, no, no, you just need to like, have a certain kind of professionalism about you and a
Yeah.
certain amount of knowledge, and you have to be able to represent the festival well and communicate with, people that work in like a creative space with a type of fluency that I think that you have. And I've it's been genuinely the best thing. It's been
Mm-hmm.
so fun, and I'm like right there staring at these artists that I
Yeah.
really admire and communicating, with members of their team and making friends and making connections.
It's
And
so awesome.
yeah, it's like so inspiring too. I always come home from those festivals like, holy shit, I can do that. I can do that. I just
Yeah,
need to like keep chipping away at it.
that's how I
So
feel too. And I love just talking to people. Like,
Yeah.
talking to people that are like traveling from different places and stuff, and like just getting to
Yes.
gab and have a good time is like
I
I
love
love
a good
it.
old, I love a yap. I
Yeah.
love a yap, a music festival and yap.
And like I will say C3 has been so great. Like every time I've worked with them in premium departments ran by
Good.
women, and they're like the most badass cool people
Oh,
ever. So
they
like
get it done.
yeah,
They
they
get
get
it
it
done.
done.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, no, C3's been amazing to me and it's been like the greatest blessing to be in those spaces. I honestly feel very honored. So,
Yay. Well, I can't wait to run
yeah.
into you IRL sometime. It'll
Yes,
be so fun.
1000%.
Yeah,
1000%.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have one last question. At Pop
Okay.
Palace, we ask all of our guests to create, like, going off the royal theme, create a royal core of, like, their top 3 musical influences or icons.
Okay. Okay. This is a great question. I'm really going to meditate on this.
Yeah.
I'm going to really not just give you the generic answer, but I really want to give you a good one. I think Stevie Nicks is number one for me. Just that is mother.
Mm-hmm.
All of my friends know that that is mother. I recently dyed my hair red, but I
I
was
love
like
it.
very, thank you, Queen. I was
It looks
very,
really
very
good,
blonde.
too. Like,
Thank
you know how some people
you.
do red and it's just like, but that
Thank
looks,
you.
I have naturally red hair and it literally looks like we're twins. It looks
Oh my
brown
God,
in the
stop.
dark, but
Stop.
yeah.
Cute.
Wait, I love
Cute. It's meant to
us.
be. I did it just for you.
Oh my God. Yay.
Um, but Steve, I used to get like I say this like I got it all the time, but once in a blue moon, I would have somebody be like, "You kind of give me a Stevie Nicks vibe when I was blonde," and
OMG.
I would quiver and shake. I would shook the house. I would literally
Yeah.
almost throw up because it's like the highest compliment. She is my queen. I
Mm-hmm.
love her, and I just respect the shit out of her. And um, yeah, so I think Stevie Nicks is up there. Um, I think. I think Sheryl Crow fucking rocks, dude.
Yep.
And I have so much respect for women that can stay like working. I wanted to say relevant, but it's not even about relevancy. Just stay working and stay hungry and stay on top of their craft.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but without being like obsessed with this fame, I guess,
Yeah.
without the like spectacle of it. I think Sheryl Crow, I've like really kind of dived into her life, doved, dived.
I
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I
I
know what you
dug,
mean though.
you know what I mean?
I get
I
it.
dug into her life and just kind of respect the way that she's like, I just want to make music with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make enough money to keep the lights on in this whole big joint, and I want to take care of my family. And those are my core values as well. Um, and I think in the same vein, I would pick Sarah Bareilles. And
Okay.
this might be a hot take, but I grew up a musical theater girly, and I think when you grow up in that space, you understand and respect the amount of skill it takes
Mm-hmm.
to write a musical. And it's something that I've always really wanted to do is to get back on stage in that way. I'm actually the director of the theater department of the school that I teach at.
Wait, that's so fun.
Yeah,
I
and
love theater.
so yeah, it's like I get to direct shows and I'm often just like enamored with how moving and still special, the theater space is.
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody like Sarah Bareilles, who's had, an iconic solo career, she's had her one hits, but she's also dove into the theater world and is really well respected in that regard. And so I think those three women are covering all of the bases of all of the things that I love. It's like a little musical theater, a little country, a little Americana, and then like a little rock and roll pop. And I think all of those things just are like everything that I love and influence me as a person. And if I had those three women as my mentors, you wouldn't be able to tell me shit.
No,
I would be
literally.
I would be so unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
I would take over the world. All four of us, we would create a girl gang and we would take over the world.
No, literally. I so see it too. You just have
But
to
that
meet
would,
them and they'll be like, come with me.
okay, I believe in that as well. Let's
Yeah.
manifest that.
I'm thinking, yep. Whenever I meet Sheryl Crow, I'll be like, I know a girl.
I know a girl.
Yeah. I love it.
Perfect. That sounds
Okay.
incredible. This was so much
Yes, it
fun.
was so
Thank you
lovely
so
to meet
much.
you. Have a great rest of your
Yes.
day.
Okay, you too, babe. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.